Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're continuing east on US Highway 98, concurrent with Florida State Road 30, starting at mile 110.6 as we climb onto the Hathaway Bridge across St. Andrews Bay, leaving Panama City Beach and heading toward Panama City. The current Hathaway Bridge opened in 2003, replacing two earlier spans from 1929 and 1959 that could no longer handle modern traffic volumes across the bay. The original structure here was known as the St. Andrews Bay Bridge and was later renamed for Franz Hathaway, who served as chairman of the Florida State Road Department, and remnants of the older bridges still sit submerged just south of the current alignment. St. Andrews Bay itself has been a key harbor on Florida's northern Gulf Coast for centuries, with the name dating back to early European exploration of this stretch of shoreline. As we descend the bridge toward the east side, ramps provide access to Port Panama City, a deep-water industrial and cargo facility on the bayfront, and to the waterfront campus of Florida State University, Panama City, which sits just north of the bridge along Collegiate Drive. Additional connections here link over to State Road 368, better known locally as West 23rd Street, an important east-west arterial through the northern side of town that serves shopping centers, medical offices, and access toward the Panama City Mall area. By the time we reach the base of the bridge, we have entered the city limits of Panama City, the principal city of Bay County, home to around 34,000 residents, with a median household income of about $61,000 and a median home value in the high 200,000s. Now that we've cleared the bay and leveled out, US-98 continues as West 18th Street, fitting into the Panama City street grid as a multi-lane urban arterial. Throughout this stretch, 18th Street carries steady commuter traffic between residential neighborhoods to the north and the older St. Andrews and downtown areas to the south, with frequent signalized intersections and access management typical of a busy city corridor. Panama City was incorporated in the early 20th century and grew around lumber, shipping, and paper industries along the waterfront. Today, tourism and the nearby military installations and the beaches across the bridge combine with port and service jobs to form a diverse local economy. Here, US-98 shifts away from West 18th Street on a gentle curve to the south as the routing realigns toward West 15th Street in downtown. At the junction ahead, State Road 30 splits from the main line US-98 and follows Panama City US-98 business route, heading farther south along Beck Avenue toward the historic St. Andrews waterfront and the shoreline of St. Andrews Bay, while the main line continues as the through east-west route across the city. To the left, Beck Avenue also carries Florida State Road 390 for a short distance, a route that otherwise runs more north-south, connecting Panama City with Lynn Haven and serving as a major urban corridor now undergoing widening and reconstruction. From this point, State Road 30A returns as the hidden designation of US 98 until the far end of the Business 98 loop. US 98 now swings back to the east and fully settles onto West 15th Street, counting as one of Panama City's primary commercial arterials. This section of 15th Street carries a wide cross-section with multiple through lanes, center turn lanes, and frequent signals, lined with gas stations, local businesses, and small shopping centers serving neighborhoods on both sides of the corridor. As we move farther into town, US-98 remains an important regional link, carrying traffic between Panama City Beach, the Panama City core, and communities to the east along the Gulf Coast. We now cross the Bay Line Railroad at grade, where trains serving the local industry and port facilities can occasionally bring traffic on US-98 to a stop while they pass through the corridor. This freight line has long supported the city's industrial base, and just beyond the tracks, the roadside environment shifts, with several auto dealerships and other larger commercial properties giving the corridor a more commercial industrial feel. Ahead is the junction with US Highway 231, a major north-south U.S. route that begins just south of downtown Panama City and heads north through the Florida Panhandle into Alabama, Tennessee, and beyond. US 231 doesn't directly intersect its implied parent route, US 31. Instead, US 231 runs roughly parallel to US 31 farther north as it connects a series of inland cities from the Gulf Coast up to Indiana. We conclude this segment at Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard with only a short distance remaining before US-98 and State Road 30 continue out of the Panama City urban core toward points east. Thanks for riding along on this stretch across St. Andrews Bay and through Bay County's largest city. If you enjoyed this drive, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment below, share it, follow along on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.